What's going on, everybody? Hey, Monty here with another episode of Mixing with Monty, and today we are going to be going over EQs for vocal mixing on Pro Tools specifically. We're going to talk about all the different EQs that we have. We have dynamic EQs, we have parametric EQs, graphic EQs, analog EQs. We have all different types of EQs, and today we're only going to be talking about two of them specifically that I would use in vocal mixing on any project that I would do. For real, I'm going to start with surgical EQ and then my additive EQ, like what I'm going to take out and then what I'm going to put back if I were to be mixing vocals. Today's track, we are going to be working on You Don't Really Love Me from Tay. From one of our last videos, we were working on it. We're going to continue the process of working on it. Each one of these videos that I'll be doing is going to be the process of me mixing her song from start to finish. So, matter of fact, before we even get into it, make sure you guys are following, liking these videos, leaving some comments, leave some love. It definitely helps the algorithms. And make sure you follow me on all the socials. They are right here, as you can see them. Ooh, where's my fingers? Right here. Yep, so follow those on all socials, and let's keep grinding together. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's get into it. All right, so we have our session back up. Again, if you've been watching the videos, you have already heard the song pretty much. But we'll go ahead and take a listen to what we have here. Take a listen to what we have here. This is just straight raw, nothing on it.
Love you so much that it hurts. Just want you to show me how your mind works. 'Cause right now it seems like you don't really love me.
All right. So we already have a good sounding vocal. It was recorded very well in. So here's what we're going to do to start. So we have all different types of EQs, like I was saying earlier. Where we're going to start majority of the time is some type of maybe parametric EQ. And we're going to also go over all the different bands as well. If we were going to start stock, right, we're going to go ahead and pull up an EQ7 band. This is a stock EQ right here. And now when you first look at it, let's go ahead and notice all of the different knobs that we have here, okay? So we'll start up here with our inputs and outputs. This is the input sound coming in, how loud the input sound coming in is, how loud the input sound or the output sound is going out, okay? Now here we have our high pass filter. Now if we were to turn on our high pass filter, as you see this dot here comes on, and this is what it's going to do. It's going to pass all of the high frequencies and get rid of all the low frequencies, okay? And then this one, the low pass frequency, is going to do the same. Now, but it's going to do it on the other end for the high stuff. It's going to cut out all the highs and keep all the lows, right? So this right here is your frequency knob of what frequency you're going to cut at. So with my vocals, typically I'm going to cut around 80 to 100. Per vocal, I'm going to cut at 100. And I like to do my slope here, 18, 20. I like to kind of have a hard slope. I don't typically use this EQ. I am going to be pulling up the EQ that I typically use, but this is what we have for this one. I would typically do a slope like this. In the high-end one, I would only use for certain scenarios, which I will show you later. So now we have our low frequencies, right? This is going to be all the like super subby low-end stuff in your vocals that we're really not going to be hearing too much of anyway. What we can do with this one is multiple different things. If you wanted to, like, because later, me personally, depending on the vocal, I might use this for, there might still be some low rumble that I want to take out. I might use it for that.
Much that it hurts.
For this
Just
specific vocal, I
show
really
me
don't
how
have
your
any
mind
lows.
Works. 'Cause right now it seems like you don't really love me. I know it is a light, but tell me, was it all for night? 'Cause right now it seems.
So as you see, you have these two different options here. One is going to just kind of filter out just like that. One is going to just section right kind of where you're at from the point. All right, so moving on to the next part, we have our low mid frequencies, right? This is going to be mostly where your mud is. This is what I'm going to use to take out my mud, all that type of stuff. Our muddiness, our boxiness, all that type of stuff is going to be what this one is used for. So typically I'm going to go anywhere from 3 to 500 frequencies, and I'm going to find where our muddy sound is, and then I'm going to take it out, right? So I'm going to start at 3. And here's a good way to kind of do that. You can notch it all the way up or all the way down. We're going to go all the way up, and then what we're going to do is we're going to sweep from 3 to 500, and we're going to figure out where the nastiest sound and the muddiest sound is in this frequency range, right? So let's go ahead and do that.
Love you so much that it hurts. Just want you to show me how your mind works. 'Cause right now it seems like you don't really love me. I know it is a light, but tell me, was it all for night? 'Cause right now it seems Like you don't really love me. Like you don't really love me.
All right, so just listening to it, it was around 3:30 that I was hearing the worst of
Love
it.
you so much that it hurts.
I
Just
really
want
don't like
you
this
to
in
show
here.
me how your mind works. Cause right now it seems like you don't really love me. Like you don't really love me. I know it is a light, but tell me, was it all for night? Cause right now it seems like you don't really love me. Like you don't really love me.
So already you can kind of hear a big difference. It tightens it up a lot just doing this simple two little things right here.
Love you so much that it hurts. Just want you to show me how your mind works.
So yeah, you don't want to do too much surgical stuff. Like you don't want to take too much out to where it just creates like a whole mess of a vocal. You don't want to do that. You want to kind of keep everything slight and tight, not too much. We're going to go ahead and move on to the mid frequencies here. This is going to be kind of where your like nasaliness and your telephonic type sound is, you know, all those frequencies in your voice. This is really where the main parts also are heard in your voice from 1,000 to like 3,000, I'm going to say, or more specifically, maybe 500 till 2,500 is like really where you're going to be heard the most. So with these frequencies, I really don't typically do much on the surgical part of it. The tonal, I'll do something later, maybe, potentially, we'll have to see. But yeah, so if you want it, if you have a vocal that's just got a little bit too much going on in that frequency, then that's what you're going to do there. Just kind of take some of it out. And this one, we actually have a pretty clean vocal, so I'm not going to do that. But that's what this one is for. Then you have your high mid frequencies. This here is going to be your presence. It's going to be where you're adding a lot of brightness to your vocals. That's going to be around anywhere from like 3 to 5K. I'm going to say more specifically 3.5 to 5K, where you can add a lot of really good brightness to your vocals. And that would look something kind of probably something like this. If I were to have this at say like 3.6, right? Your slope will probably look something like this. Add brightness all the way to these frequencies here, but we're not going to do that here. We're going to do that elsewhere. And then you have your high frequencies, which this is your air. This is where you're going to be adding all your air to your vocals, making that real nice come off the end, you know, where you really hear that air coming out of the vocals. That's what this is going to create for you, and or take out too much air if you have it. So that's what these are all for. So having all of these different frequency ranges, you can do a lot of different things to your vocals. You definitely want to be careful when you're mixing. You don't want to do too much, right? So if I were to be mixing the vocal, this is probably all I'd be doing to her vocal specifically.
Love you so much that it hurts. Just want you to show me how your mind works. Cause right now it seems like you don't really love me. Like you don't really
yeah,
love
so we definitely
me.
tighten that up a lot, right? So yeah, so that's what I would do if I were to use this EQ. So the next EQ that I'm going to go to is the EQ I typically would use, which is my Infinity EQ. We're going to go ahead and take all this off. I love using this Infinity EQ right here. This is a Slate Digital plugin. The thing that I like the most about it is that you can create all of your own bands, and you can create as many as you want. And you have all different options of what type of bands they are. Got the low shelf, high shelf, low pass, high pass. So I definitely like that. And you can, you know, affect multiple things at once. You can move multiple things at once. And they've got different curves that you can give them. I just really like this EQ. It's really solid as hell. What I would do and how I would use this here, pretty much the same way. I'm going to cut out to 100.
Love you so much that it hurts. Just want you to show me how your mind works. Cause right now it seems you don't really love me. Like you don't really love me. I know it is a light, but tell me, was it all for night? Cause right now it seems like you don't really love me. Like you don't really love me.
All right, so what I just did here was just notched up a little bit in the brightness here, just to notch it up. I'm going to be notching it up more and brightening it even more. Like I said, I don't want to do too much on my surgical EQ. This is just me personally. Everybody is different, but me personally, I don't like to do too much on my surgical EQ. I like to kind of just let it surgically remove frequencies that I do not want. So that's where we are at with this. So those are typically the two EQs I would use. I actually really don't use stock too much. This is really my go-to. This Infinity EQ has just been my go-to for years, honestly, ever since I started with it. I love it. Another good EQ that you could use is Fab Filter. Then you have your Pro EQs, you know. You have a lot of different options. RTA, F6 from Waves. Auto-Tune's also got some pretty good EQ. There's definitely a lot of different options you can go with. So another option that Waves also has specifically is these curves AQ. And this here is really cool because what it does is it will learn your vocal. It'll create like a whole vocal curve for you, which I like. So what we'll do is
Love
we'll
you
test it out. We'll learn
so
it.
much that it hurts. Just want you to show me how your mind works. 'Cause right now it seems like you don't really love me. I know it is a lie, but tell me, was it all for night? 'Cause right now it seems like you don't really love me.
And then it gives you options too of what you can choose for the vocals. So that's what I like as well.
Love you so much that it hurts. Just want you to show me how your mind works. 'Cause right now it seems like you don't really love me.
I actually like this one here.
I know it is a lie, but tell me, was it all for night? 'Cause right now it seems like you don't really love me.
So that's really what it does, man. You also have all these different options of things that you can change. You can tilt the frequencies.
Love you so much that it hurts. Just want you to show
where
me
it's gonna
how your
affect.
mind works. 'Cause right now it seems
So
like
that's
you
pretty
don't
cool.
really love me. I know it is a lie,
And then you can make it either static or
but tell
dynamic.
me, was it all for night? 'Cause right now it seems like you don't really love me.
And then you have all these different options you can also choose from as well. So pretty cool, right? So this is what I would use. Oh yeah, and you also have all these advanced controls if you want to have, more control of your attack, your release, precision, all that type of stuff. So yeah, this thing is really cool as well. So these are the things that I would use, particularly me, myself, and I. Going over to the next EQ that I would go to now. Typically, I would be going to a whole different chain of things before I go to the next EQ. But in this case, we're just going to go ahead and go right to the EQing part of what I would do to tone it up. So now that we've removed frequencies right here in about 6.5, sometimes at 6.5, you'll get, that's where a lot of the S-ing is coming. I like to sometimes notch this down with like a real hard point here. Nothing too spread out, just a real hard point just to kind of notch that down. Make it a little bit easier on my de-esser. If my de-esser has to work super hard, I like to do that sometimes. Going on to the next EQ that I'll have. We're going to be using today the SSL EQ. This thing is really cool. I'm going to just reload it though. You also have the EV2 channel and the G channel. We're just going to use the regular channel today. This thing is really cool. It's really good and like perfect for toning, adding color, adding saturation, really kind of adding a lot of character to your vocals. What I like to do personally, this is me, and everybody please understand that anything that I show you is not said and done. It's not fucking the way all be all. It's not none of that. It's all just what I do personally, and my goal here is to just help, if you didn't know at all, to give you direction of what you could try, just to kind of get an understanding of what you could start doing for yourself. Okay, so please do not let what I'm doing be the end all be all of anything that you guys are doing. This is just my examples of just to give you something, you know what I mean? I like to start with a lead vox preset because I just think it makes your vocals sound great, and then I just kind of tweak it from here.
I love you so much that it hurts. Just want you to show me how your mind works. 'Cause right now it seems like you don't really love me.
So just focusing specifically on the EQ part of it.
I love you so much that it hurts. Just want you to show me how your mind works. 'Cause right now it seems like you don't really love me. I know it is a lie, but tell me, was it all for night? 'Cause right now it seems like you don't really love me. I love you so much that it hurts. Just want you to show me how your mind works. 'Cause right now it seems like you don't really love me. I know it is a lie, But tell me, was it all for night? 'Cause right now it seems
Alright, so we
like you
definitely
don't
added some
really
brightness.
love me. You don't really love me. I love you so much that it hurts. Just want you to show me how your mind works. 'Cause right now it seems like you don't really love me. You don't really love me. I know it is a light, but tell me, was it all for night? 'Cause right now it seems like you don't really love me.
So I think earlier we were talking about just because you're taking away, I don't think actually I mentioned this, but just because you're taking away doesn't mean you can't put it back later, right? So earlier we took out of the 300s because it was a little boxy, a little muddy, but I wanted to add back to it to add more character back. So
I love you so much that it hurts. Just want you to show me how your mind works. 'Cause right now it seems like you don't really love me. I know it is a light, but tell me, was it all for night? 'Cause right now it seems like you don't really love me.
and bam, there you go. So if we were to just go ahead and mute all of this, please.
I love you so much that it hurts. Just want you
Without
to
it.
show me how your mind works. 'Cause right now it seems
And with it,
like you don't really love me. I know it is a light.
so yeah, you have a pretty good sound right there. And that's pretty much all I'm going to show you guys just for this video. There's other EQs that you could be using, but for this specific video, I just wanted to show you guys what I would do for my vocals, what EQs I would use. There's also, I guess there are also some other options that you could use. I can show you real quick. You have the APIs that I like. I like to use the API A and B. Most of the time I'll use them together. This is just me. Again, remember, everything is just preference. Everything is what you decide you want, okay? Nothing is set in stone, and nothing that anybody does is the only right way. Let's be clear about that. Nothing that anybody does is the only right way. There's a million ways to do the same exact thing, okay? So if we were to have our A and B, we have just different options here. I like using this.
I
were
love
to
you
mute
so
that, right?
much
Or
that it
12.5.
hurts. Just want you to show me how your mind works. 'Cause
Analog
right
on.
now it seems like you don't really love me.
Go to 5. See what this is at.
I know it is a light, but tell me, was it all for night? 'Cause right now it seems like you don't really love me. I love you so much that it hurts. Just want you to show me how your mind works. 'Cause right now it seems like you don't really love me. I love you so much that it hurts. Just want you to show me how your mind works. 'Cause right now it seems like you don't really love me.
There we go. It's a nice warm
I
vocal
know
right there.
it is a light, but tell me, was it all for night? 'Cause right now it seems like you don't really love me.
There you go. So that's what I would do with something like that, maybe to add some warmth if I really wanted to. So that's an API. Another dope one. Another good, like, super good thing that we can use. I'll actually just do a whole video on this later, but is a virtual mix rack. And what I will say about this thing is that I have used it since the beginning of my time engineering. It's one of the most solid plugins you probably can have, and it's like an all-in-one plugin, meaning it does everything on its, like, it does everything in one. It has everything you need, all the tools you need for mixing, all in one plugin, and it's a whole channel rack. You know, that's really what this is just an entire channel rack, and you can set this from top to bottom to have a really good vocal. And it also has really cool presets as well for vocals. You have all these different vocals. It's got all these different presets for you that you can use. This hip hop lead is actually a pretty good one for rappers if you want to use this to give you a nice, strong, bright vocal for your hip hop vocals. But it also has all these different options as well. Exciting, clear. Let's go clear. Right, and it's going to give you a whole mix chain of what you could use to get yourself going. You start with your preamp, which is your saturation here, which is pretty cool. Tube collection, your frequency, output, young. You have all these different options. So definitely like give this a go.
I love you so much that it hurts. Just want you to show me how your mind works. Cause right now it seems.
All right, I'm not getting into this, but this has a bunch of EQs and stuff. I'm gonna do a whole video on this. It'll probably be the next one. All right, and I'll mix her whole thing using just Slate Digital. But yeah, man, that's really it. Let's keep it simple. Let's keep it short for today. We're at 25 minutes now, so yeah, if this is helpful, please let me know. If there's anything that I can do better to make these videos better for you guys, please let me know. I do want to make these better. Let me change my screen here. I really want to make these videos better for you guys and do anything that I can to give you guys the information that you guys need. So if you have an idea of what you would like to learn, something that you would like to learn mixing wise or even beat making wise, I'm going to start my beat making videos. Drop a comment. Let me know. Let me know what it is that you need to learn. If there's like a quick little thing, anything that you need to know, just drop a comment and I'll make a video on it and we'll get it popping. All right. So I appreciate you guys for tapping in. We'll do some more in-depth videos on all this type of stuff down the line. I'm trying to just keep them going. You know what I mean? So appreciate you guys for tuning in with Mixing with Monty. Until next time, peace.